So as manufacturers, producers, and importers, there are solutions
to your foreign exchange challenges.
Awesome. Hello, I'm Sandra, Comfort Zone Manufacturing.
Mr. Frank, Amigo Manufacturing.
Fantastic presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
You sounded so confident in your presentation. How are you coping with the current economic recession in the country? You know, as manufacturers we are largely dependent on local market. Many of our finished goods are piled up in the warehouse. Because demands from buyers have reduced, what do you think is the way out?
You are right actually, I'm also experiencing the same situation. The current decline is making it difficult to sell locally. But I'm already preparing to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA.
AFCFTA?
Are you not aware of the fact that the whole of Africa have come together to sign an agreement to trade together duty-free? And that means, after manufacturing my products I can ship it to 53 African countries without payment of duty.
Awesome.
Which is an extra market for me. This program is starting next year, and I'm already preparing to take advantage of it.
Wow, thank you so much. How are you going about it? And how can I also prepare for it?
Well, I'm currently training myself and other staffs to take advantage of this. And I've found an executive diploma program in export business from the American Institute of Extended Studies to enable me achieve this.
This is great. Thanks so much for the information. How can I also enroll for this program?
To register for an executive diploma in export business management and take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement,
simply call 0809-124-4449 or send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Welcome, sir. This is the second time I'm coming to see you. I need to know how to go about this export business. Please do relax, sir. With all due respect, I need to see a manager. You guys need to be able to give me enough information about this export business. I'm sorry, sir. The bank is a financial institution. We offer financial advice to the best of our knowledge. This is just waste of time. My manager might be able to give you some recommendations. Please do hold on. Hello, sir. Please do come with me to my office. So I was told you needed information on export business. Well, sir, a lot of opportunities have passed by me in the past few months. I have received so many orders for my product and services abroad I just don't know how to go about it. Well, it's a good thing you came here today. One of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting firm 3Timpex now provides export support services for both intending and existing exporters. Really? Support services like? Well, name it. Export market advisory, export product advisory, export skill acquisition e-learning, export pricing advisory, export contract advisory, export paperwork advisory, export finance advisory, to mention just a few. Wow, this is like a dream come true. How do I contact them to know more? Simply call 0809-124-4449 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Export service designed just for you. Subscribe to 3T Export Support Services now. Wow, man, you are doing quite good. You are not doing bad yourself. How is your business doing these days, with the economic decline here and there? You don't look like you are being affected at all. Well, it's affecting everyone. I just found a way of, expanding market for my services. Really? Tell me more. Let's talk in my office. So basically, I found a way of taking my services to other countries in the world. Hence, I don't have to depend so much on the current economic situation in our country.
Oh my god, this is awesome. But how did you go about it?
Well, thanks to 3T Impex and American Institute of Extended Studies, I was able to acquire skills and competence to take my skills to the world through Executive Diploma in Service Export Management.
That's just great. Is this program just for everyone? You know I am not into ICT service like you.
Well, the following services and many more can be exported. They are ICT, professional services, management consulting, marketing, training and education, engineering and architectural services, entertainment services, customer services and call center, graphics and photography, HR-related services. Don't get me started on the benefits. Earning in foreign exchange, increased sales volume and so much more.
I'm not waiting to hear more. I'm calling 08036522946 right away.
You can also send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
That's it. I'm signing up right away.
To sign up or know more about our services, simply call 08036522946 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Hey Paul. What a surprise to see you. In the port, of all places.
Life is full of surprises, I guess.
You and this your sense of humor. I came to relax at the riverbank before I sighted you. So, what on earth brings you to the port?
Actually, I came to oversee the export of my products.
You must be joking, right?
No, I'm not.
When did you start producing? Not to talk of exporting?
I actually started some few months ago. I now produce and export processed food items. And basically I am here to oversee the shipment myself.
Wow. It's been barely 15 months since I last saw you. Won't you tell me how all this happened?
Of course I will. Let's go grab a sit.
So how did you become an exporter in such a short time?
Well, the last time we met I told you of my plans on exiting paid employment. So I was looking out for a business to go into. A few weeks later, I came across a training program organized by 3T Impex Trade Academy, one of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting companies.
Really?
Yes, the training is tagged From Export Novice to Export Legend.
Sounds great. Tell me more.
After 6 months, I completed the Diploma in Export Business Management. And in another 6 months, I successfully produced and packaged, even without having a manufacturing company.
Amazing.
I know, right? And all this is aside the free export advisory services, free export license, free books and audio materials, to mention just a few.
Wow, thank the heavens I came down to the port today. I am definitely considering this. How can one get started?
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or visit www.globaltradecollege.com. You can also send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Be a pal, own your own export business, and become an export legend today.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Kindly confirm if you can hear me, please. Kindly confirm if you can hear me. Just indicate by raising up your hand or just drop a message in the chat box. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, please? I was wondering when I was not hearing from anyone, just to be sure we are together before we start today. We are still exploring the exportable products in Africa, and today we are looking at part 8. We have been looking at different products. We'll just basically continue from where we left off last week. And what we're trying to do basically is to ensure that we make as many information as possible available to Africans ahead of the unique opportunity to trade on the African continent. And also is a way of ensuring that we avoid a repeat of the mistake of the past. And by mistake of the past, I mean a situation where Africa signed this agreement, but many in Africa did not benefit from this agreement. And that's the one in West Africa, the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme. And that's one of the reasons why, having realized that one of the reasons why that was not very successful was because many were not even aware of those agreements. If you're also new to this program, and this is the first time you'll be joining us, we have a Telegram channel where you can pick up the previous edition of this program. I've dropped the link of the Telegram channel on the chat, so you can always click on that link to join the chat group. On that chat group, every week, we drop the information about what was done that week in terms of the program. And what that does for you, it makes it easier for you to be able to catch up with. Remember, this is part 8, so that means we have done part 1 to part 7. Part 1 to part 7. So that means you have a lot to catch up with. To be great if you can check it out by clicking on that Telegram channel to join the group. Also, I've been talking about the network of practicing non-oil exporters of Nigeria. The Executive Council has been inaugurated. The board has been inaugurated, and the organization is almost set to take off, or let me say partially has taken off already. You might want to check out that website to be able to register on the website so that you can have access to the benefits of the network of practicing non-oil exporters. And the objective basically is to be able to help exporters in Nigeria across board, from large corporate to SMEs and micro exporters, to be able to realize their dream in securing markets and also exporting their products each free. Remember, we have our Diploma in Export Business Management, another certification program from the Americans of Extended Studies, and the school has graciously also made available a commission of 10% for everyone that is able to help us get client or student, or if you are able to get someone to do the program, you get 10% of whatever it is the person is paying on the fee. The school fee is not the tutorial fee, but rather the school fee. And we have the Executive Diploma in Export Business Management and Finance for the African continent. And that's to support the AFCFTA, it's a acquire skill and competence to take advantage of the African market under the Executive Diploma in Export Business Management and Executive Diploma in Export Trade Finance. All right, so we'll be starting today with soap. Soap. When I saw soap, I was asking myself, do we also import soap? Alas, Nigeria is the largest importer of soap. Nigeria is the largest market to import soap in Africa. So we import soap. And sincerely, it's interesting that we import soap. Africa produces soap, no doubt. And our production The export locally is just about $400 million, but the import is almost $1 billion. Can you imagine? The import is almost $1 billion. And to think that we spend almost $1 billion to import soap of various kinds and of various types. I know Nigeria export black soap, for example, Dudu Osun, or Dudu Osun. Nigeria export it in mass to Europe and America. But I understand that company. I have a former colleague that worked there and was telling me that they can't meet the demand, that they have been booked for the whole of this year and even next year. They can't meet the demand for black soap. I'm making that information available for you to know that people want to go natural. So, as much as possible, a lot of Nigerians and Africans and even foreigners are buying that product abroad. And I think that's the major export of soap from Nigeria, and it's just about 1.79%. That's so small. But think of the amount of import into Africa. So that means if you are interested in soap, from liquid soap to bar soap to detergent to bathing soap to laundry soap, soap in different sizes and shades, Africa is importing about 900 million, almost $1 billion. That for me is amazing, actually, amazing. It's unthinkable. Wow. It's unthinkable, really, for me. It's unthinkable. The quantum of import of soap that Africa is doing. The quantum of import of soap that Africa is doing. So if you are thinking of exporting soap to African countries, who are the market? Apart from Nigeria, we have Ghana. Ghana also is importing a lot of soap. Angola is importing a lot of soap. South Africa is importing a lot of soap, including Egypt, then Djibouti, Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Malawi, among others, being major importer of soap. And the major exporter. It's interesting to know that Cote d'Ivoire is doing a lot of soap export. South Africa is doing a lot of soap export. Kenya is doing a lot of soap export. So Cote d'Ivoire and South Africa are controlling almost 50% of that market. Then Egypt is doing a lot of soap export also, 12.2%. Tanzania, 7.28%, Uganda, 7%. Now, what I would say about this is one product that does not take so much to produce. And I am of the opinion that anyone that is thinking of exporting this product, like I often recommend, you don't need to be the manufacturer of the product. You don't need to be the manufacturer of the product. You just need to be you can be a merchant. You can be a merchant. You can be a merchant. And as a merchant, what are you doing? As a merchant, you are basically buying and selling. You are basically buying and selling. And if you have been able to do well in buying and selling as a merchant, that then should make it easier for you or make it possible for you to be able to do a backward integration afterward, in which case you decide to set up your own factory when you have established your own market. So it would be a big bad idea if you can get a company to produce for you in your brand, so that when you begin to produce yourself, you won't have to be changing the brand again. Remember the competitor if you are exporting: Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, and Tanzania. Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, and Tanzania. That's the competitors. Wheat flour. Wheat flour. Not wheat itself, but the flour. The export of wheat flour is about $402 million, and the import of wheat flour is about $753 million. $753 million. Who are the importers of wheat flour? And there's wheat flour in Nigeria. For me, I think wheat flour is even a product that one can easily be a distributor of, because the people producing wheat flour in Nigeria are very large corporates, quoted companies. So you can be a distributor. Or you also work out a contract production arrangement with them. The market, I'm amazed at the level of import from Angola, then DRC, then Somalia, Madagascar, Eritrea. Now, by the way, Eritrea have not signed, out of the 55 countries on the African continent, 54 have signed the AFCFTA. 54 have signed the AFCFTA. But Eritrea is the only country that have not signed. I don't know when they will sign. So if eventually they don't sign, that means they are not agreeing to the free trade arrangement on the African continent. That's the implication. They will not be a party to that agreement. And anything agreed in terms of the free trade within the African continent will be outside the border of Eritrea. Outside the border of Eritrea. So we have Angola being a major market for wheat flour. And wheat flour, I mean, it's used for so many things, confectionaries, and a number of other things. I think it's a product worth considering because it's in hundreds of millions of dollars. And being in the food line, with the growing population in Africa, this is a market to pursue. But like I said, we have big companies like Honeywell, flour mills and the like in Nigeria who are producing this flour product. And you might want to have an arrangement with them to become their distributor for this product in different countries in Africa. For different countries in Africa. If you are thinking of exporting this product, you can see the trend line is also growing. Like I said, any product that have food components in it, any product that is needed for survival of mankind, I can assure you, the trend line will grow. And like I said, the reason is very simple. Africa is a place where we basically are looking for survival. So for it to grow, it will be a very, very simple thing. Very, very simple thing. Because as population grow, you expect the demand to grow. Who are the competing exporters? Egypt owns that market. Egypt owns that market. Even though the amount is small, not so small, 400 and something million is not small. I'm just comparing with other one that is in billions. But what's happening is that while Egypt is taking up 50% of the market in terms of export from Africa, Tanzania is about 20%, and Ghana is about 9%. Cote d'Ivoire is about 4.2%. Uganda is about 4. Cote d'Ivoire is about 4.8%, and Uganda is about 4.28%. Beauty product. Now, beauty product vary. There's so many kind of beauty product. Mainly within the range of creams for hair, for face, for hand, for leg, for different part of the body. Ladies know what I'm talking about. And the import of beauty product is $1.01 billion. Interesting. $1.01 billion. Beauty product. $1.01 billion. The export of beauty product in Africa is about $547 million. And the exporters are South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire, constituting about almost 70% of the market. But if you are thinking of going into this space and you're looking for market in Africa, there's a market in South Africa. Do you notice something? South Africa is a major importer and a major exporter. That is a very, very common. That is a very, very common phenomenon in trade, in doing trade. In international trade, that's a very, very common phenomenon. And what makes it common? When a country is importing an item, you also export the item. More often than not, some other people in that country might be interested in other brand on the same product, and they are not patronizing the local brand. And they're not so, and most countries allowed it. You are free, even though the one being imported will be more expensive because of duty. But you know what? You are very free. Very, very, very free. You are very, very, very free to choose what you want. And that's what happened in the case of South Africa, as I can see here. But it's also interesting to know that Nigeria is also a major importer, constituting 7.1%. South Africa is doing 21.9% of beauty products. So if you know anybody that is into shea butter kind of product, that is their market. That is their market. You know, is it not interesting that shea butter is found in West Africa, but the US have what is called the American Shea Butter Institute? And we need them to be able to get market for shea butter. Reason is simple. We have refused to add value when we produce to shea nut or to shea butter level. Sometimes we just stop there. As long as we refuse to add value, you know what will happen in international market? The people that will enjoy the benefit of natural resources in your environment are going to be foreigners. As long as we refuse to add value. As long as we refuse to add value. Case in point, cocoa. The value chain of cocoa is said to be over $100 billion. The cocoa beans alone is just about $10 billion. Cocoa beans alone is just about $10 billion. And that's the primary product. The cocoa liquor, the cocoa cake, the chocolate, the cocoa butter constitute a good chunk of the rest. Chocolate alone is about $30 billion. Chocolate alone is about $30 billion. So adding value is the way to go. Only that our people need to be reorientated about the fact that we should add value. For some people, it doesn't appear like they are interested in adding value. They just want to produce at that primary level only. But that's not helping us. So like shea butter, I don't think we should even stop at the level of shea butter. We should do the cream. Why? The people making money from that business are the people adding that level of value, such that America have to come together and form American Shea Butter Institute. They don't produce shea nut. Shea nut only grow, as far as I know, in West Africa. You know, look at this story also. This was another amazing story that I stumbled on a few years back. Do you know that cocoa beans currently is threatened? Research is showing that if the current level of temperature rising, climate change, if you continue, by 2050, cocoa beans will go into extinction. Cocoa beans will go into extinction. Now, look at what is happening. Look at what is happening. Cocoa beans will go into extinction. But look at what is happening to cocoa beans. Mars, the chocolate producer, is doing a research in US, I think maybe University of California or thereabout, somewhere in the US. They are doing a research right now. And the research is aimed at producing a variety of cocoa beans that will be able to endure the likely increase in temperature in the world, particularly in Africa, by 2050, based on the current projection. So that around that time, why we cannot grow cocoa beans again, our cocoa beans cannot produce good yield again because of the increase in temperature, they will have developed a new variety of cocoa and export the seed to us so that we can then grow it here. And you know what will happen at that time? They will determine who buys. At that time, you can't sell to anybody. You can't sell to anybody. They will have an agreement with you. They will be the first in the line. If they are already funding the research. So that means they're going to sell seedling to us. What am I saying in essence? Even though those countries are not the producer, they are thinking over 30 years ahead. They are thinking over 30 years ahead. So what am I saying in essence? One of the major beauty products is shea, and it's grown in West Africa. I think we should take the production of different product, cream, soap, and the like from shea much more seriously, since we are the one producing it. So if you are thinking of exporting that product to African countries, South Africa is a market to beat. Morocco is a market to go. For those outside Nigeria, Nigeria is a market to consider. Ghana, another market. Egypt, another market. Tunisia, another market. Algeria, another market. Rwanda, another market. Mali. And you can understand the reason why the trend line shows continuous growth, continuous growth, continuous growth. Many countries in Africa are putting a very high duty on soap. But with AFCFTA, that duty we have to go so we can be able to ship soap to many Africans. Can you see that some people are doing about 74%, sorry, about 23% of duty on soap, even in Africa, even in Africa. But the trend line is growing because it's a product used by every human being is using soap, either to bath or to wash dishes or clothes or body, wherever it is. We are washing. We are using creams. Sorry, beauty product, I'm looking at cream, not soap product, cream. We're using cream to do so many things. And even the shea butter now is having multiple uses by companies that are using them. Competing exporters in Africa, like I said earlier, South Africa owns 37% of the market. That the market is over $1 billion is commendable. That's the import market, but the people exporting, they are only able to supply just about half of what the market needs. Côte d'Ivoire doing 31%, Senegal doing 9%, Tanzania 7%, and Egypt 3.15%. Now, this is for our people in Aba who are doing a lot of clothing, and some in Lagos also. I'm happy to see that Africa is doing more export of clothing, from t-shirt to singlet to vest. All are currently being exported by different different African countries. Where is the market? The importer, 450 million. Africa is definitely exporting this product, not just to Africa, but to a lot of other markets around the world. And this includes Morocco exporting 35% of the $747 billion, $747 million rather. Egypt, 21.5%. Tunisia, 19.3%. Mauritius, 14.8%. So, what are the major markets, major importers? South Africa, Nigeria, controlling almost 50% of that market. Sorry, buying almost 50% of the import. Then Morocco, then Egypt, then Algeria, Libya, Senegal, Ghana, and Togo. Knit women's suit. Still talking about clothing. Knit women's suit. Wow. I'm impressed with the level of export done. The level of export done for clothes is extremely commendable. And to think that Nigeria is a major importer of women's suit is also interesting to know. It's also interesting to know that Nigeria is a major importer of women's suit. With the market being 1.3 billion in import, but good enough, export is 2.59 billion. Wow. Export is 2.95 billion. South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt, Algeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, Togo, Libya being a major importer, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt being a major exporter. And trend line is also growing. Competitors is Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Madagascar, and Kenya. Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Madagascar, and Kenya. What of men's suit? Men's suit is small, 617. Who are the major importer? South Africa, Algeria. So Nigerian women import more suits than Nigerian men. Nigerian women import more suits than Nigerian men. Is that not interesting? Nigerian women import more suits than Nigerian men. Because Nigerian men is not even on the radar at all. Not even on the radar at all as far as this matter is concerned. As far as this matter is concerned. Pasta. Pasta. You know, there are a lot of companies in Nigeria that produce pasta. There's so many companies in Nigeria that produce, different companies in Nigeria, different companies, not so many companies, different companies in Nigeria that produce pasta. And I'm a bit alarmed at the level of import of pasta. I'm a bit alarmed at the level of import of pasta. And I'm alarmed because I was thinking that we were producing enough, but from this it's very obvious we really and truly were not producing enough. We really and truly were not producing enough. Okay, someone is saying, can I show the ladies' garment again? Give me a minute, please. Give me a minute, please, for the ladies' garment. Sorry, I'm trying to go back to that slide. This is it. The ladies' garment. That's the non-knit women's suit. That is about 1.3 billion. That Nigeria is importing 23%. So I'm saying a lot of our women seems to be major source of import of suit into the country. Of course, women are very much more fashion conscious than men. So maybe that explains the reason why. Sorry. Maybe that explains the reason why. We are having a lot of women within that space, as much more than we are having our men. Okay, let's move on to the other one. So I was looking at, so that's the men's suit. Pasta, I was talking about pasta, the fact that I'm a bit alarmed, surprised about what I'm seeing on pasta. And why am I surprised? I was thinking that we are producing a lot of pasta, which is true, but Nigeria export pasta. In fact, I'm happy to see that Nigeria export 14.6% of the total export of pasta from Africa. Total export is 244 million. 244 million, and it's good to know that Nigeria is doing more than about 20 million of that. About 20 million of that. Someone is saying, can I have reported for last week? Yes, we did tea, I think last week or upper week. Let me drop, I've dropped the link before, Dr. Teju. I've dropped the link before, I'm dropping it again. That's, if you click on this link I just dropped right now, the link will take you to a group. That group have therein different videos that we have done in the past. As a matter of fact, you will get there part 1 to part 8. So you can click on that link. It will take you to a Telegram channel. Join the Telegram channel, and then you will see all the posts there. Thank you very much. Angola is a major market. So, you know what? This is interesting to me. The fact that we already are exporting it is very much interesting to me. So that means that you'll probably be able to have better conversation with companies that are already producing, so that if you want to export or you want to be that, if you approach a company that is a big company that is not ready to do contract production, you can be a distributor and you can sign a deal with them to distribute the product in the export market. So you can distribute the product for them in the export market. You can distribute the product for them in the export market. Looking at Angola, Somalia, Ghana, Benin Republic, and I'm suspecting Benin. I don't know why I'm suspecting Benin. I'm suspecting Benin Republic. If what we know is anything to go by, I won't be surprised if some of the Benin Republic import of pasta is escaping and finding their way into the Nigerian market. I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised. because the volume I'm seeing here for Benin is almost 10% of the total import of pasta in Africa coming to Benin Republic. And Benin Republic is a very small, have a very, very small population. So I won't be surprised. Just the way Nigeria import of rice reduced and Benin Republic import of rice grew, and Benin Republic have not grown in population that warrant double import in terms of import volume over a period of less than a year. And your guesses are good as mine. Those rice were finding their way into the Nigerian market. Those rice were finding their way into the Nigerian market. So I'm particularly interested in pasta because the deficit is about $500 million. We are exporting just 244 million, and we are importing 702 million. I think the deficit is huge. Mr. Dare, that's a very important question. How does an exporter protect his interest from the manufacturer taking over their business when they see good sale in the export market? This is where a solid contract comes in. A solid contract agreement that, look, if you must come into that market, these are the terms and conditions. If you give me a target and I'm unable to meet my target, you can come in. That means I'm not doing well. But if I'm meeting my target and you come in, I should be able to have a recourse. So you discuss with your lawyer to have clauses that will make you to be able to sue them in Nigeria and sue them for heavy damages in Nigeria. And if possible, sue them in the export market. Seeking a legal redress is the only way out, because what you said is true. And that's why sometimes they will want you to do a renewal. So maybe what they can do is to refuse to renew. So that's why you also want to sign a fairly long contract that will only be subject to renewal or review if certain conditions are not met. So you now have the job of meeting those conditions so that there won't be need for review or renew if you are meeting your target or your condition. But that question, I think, is a very vital question, because I'm talking to you, I was thinking about it in my head, about the fact that some manufacturer might want to be smart. And that's why I've been saying, let them produce for you in your brand, if possible, so that if for any reason you need to set up your own factory, it will be easier for you having established the market and have a very good and solid distribution channel in the export market. A very good, in one of the modules of the Diploma in Export Business Management, one of the things that we discuss extensively is distribution channels. Because being able to keep and maintain your presence in the market sincerely is a function of your distribution channel. If you do not have a very solid distribution channel, because if you have a good distribution channel, you can work through your distributor to even prevent the manufacturer from coming in. So, in fact, in my opinion, one of the major job description of any export business manager is developing a distribution channel in the export market. And to be able to acquire that skill, I would strongly recommend the Executive Diploma in Export Business Management. There are so many options you can explore, actually, so many options. There's so many options you can explore to be able to have access in the export market. So many options you can explore. So that you can have a solid arrangement on ground. That can make it to be almost impossible. That can make it to be almost impossible for the exporter or for the manufacturer to displace you in the export market. But like I said, that concern expressed by Mr. Talabi is a very, very valid concern. Going back to pasta. Pasta, like I said, is a very interesting market, and I think it's worth considering for those that are looking at export markets in Africa. The trend line is growing, and I'm not surprised. Anything food, you expect the demand to keep growing in Africa. Remember, if you are looking at going to that market, Egypt is there for you. Morocco is not joking. Nigeria is not doing bad. Cote d'Ivoire and Mauritius, all of which are competitors in that market. Baked goods. Baked goods. For those of us that probably does not know what baked good is, baked good is like biscuit. Baked good is like cookies. Baked good is like biscuit. Baked good is like cookies. Now, why is this important? Baked goods. Baked good is very, very important because it's what a lot of people can find it a lot easier to do, in my opinion, because cookies and biscuits are probably what we can find it a lot easier to do within our, what do you call it now? Our small cottage factory. Small cottage factory. You can do baked goods easily. So by baked goods, you'll be looking at different snack. And by snack, I mean biscuit. Is it not interesting that Africa is importing this level of baked goods? Is it not interesting? Almost $800 million. Almost $800 million. From cake to bread to pie to biscuit, different kind of cake baked goods, candy, chocolate, confectionaries, cookies, all within the confine of baked goods. Question: which of these will you be looking at? I think this is a quick win. I think so. I might be wrong, but I strongly think this is a quick win. Out of the $792 million market, South Africa is already taking 10%. Lovely. Rwanda, 10%. So you have a market in South Africa, 10%. Even though South Africa is also a major exporter, exporting 13% of our 297 million export. But Rwanda is a market to look at. Morocco is another market to consider. Libya is another market to look at. Angola, Ghana, Egypt, Mauritius, Cote d'Ivoire are all markets that is worth considering when you are thinking of the market for baked goods in Africa. When you are thinking of the market for baked goods in Africa. On the other hand, who are the exporters? Egyptians, 31%, Tanzanians, 26%, South Africans, 13.1%, Zambians, 7.65%, Ethiopia, 2.49%, Tunisia, 4.3%, Morocco, 3.59%, Uganda, 3.14%. All these are the major exporters of our $300 million worth of export of baked goods. Of course, the demand is growing. The import is growing because it's food item. Always remember, food item in Africa, huge opportunity for business. Major importer of baked goods, like cake and cookies, South Africa, Rwanda, Morocco, Libya, Angola, and competing exporters, Egypt, Tanzania, South Africa, Zambia, and Tunisia. Before we close today, you can drop your question and comment. Remember, we have our Earn with Ease program. This program enables you to be able to earn 10% by referring someone to join our diploma program, be it executive diploma in export business management or export trade finance. So I'll wait for your comment and question while we listen to this. Watch this video.
And so as manufacturers, producers and importers, there are solutions to your foreign exchange challenges.
Awesome. Hello, I'm Sandra, Comfort Zone Manufacturing.
Mr. Frank, Amigo Manufacturing.
Fantastic presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
You sounded so confident in your presentation. How are you coping with the current economic recession in the country? You know, as manufacturers, we are largely dependent on local market. Many of our finished goods are piled up in the warehouse. Because demands from buyers have reduced, what do you think is the way out?
You are right actually, I'm also experiencing the same situation. The current decline is making it difficult to sell locally. But I'm already preparing to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA.
AFCFTA?
Are you not aware of the fact that the whole of Africa have come together to sign an agreement to trade together duty-free? And that means, after manufacturing my products, I can ship it to 53 African countries without payment of duty.
Awesome.
Which is an extra market for me. This program is starting next year, and I'm already preparing to take advantage of it.
Wow, thank you so much. How are you going about it? And how can I also prepare for it?
Well, I'm currently training myself and other staffs to take advantage of this. And I've found an executive diploma program in export business from the American Institute of Extended Studies to enable me achieve this.
This is great. Thanks so much for the information. How can I also enroll for this program?
To register for an executive diploma in export business management and take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement,
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or send an email to tradacademy@3chimpix.com.
Welcome, sir. This is the second time I'm coming to see you. I need to know how to go about this export business. Please do relax, sir. With all due respect, I need to see a manager. You guys need to be able to give me enough information about this export business. I'm sorry, sir. The bank is a financial institution. We offer financial advice to the best of our knowledge. This is just waste of time. My manager might be able to give you some recommendations. Please do hold on. Hello, sir. Please do come with me to my office. So I was told you needed information on export business. Well, sir, a lot of opportunities have passed by me in the past few months. I have received so many orders for my product and services abroad, I just don't know how to go about it. Well, it's a good thing you came here today. One of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting firm 3T Impex now provides export support services for both intending and existing exporters. Really? Support services like, well, name it. Export market advisory, export product advisory, export skill acquisition e-learning, export pricing advisory, export contract advisory, export paperwork advisory, export finance advisory, to mention just a few. Wow, this is like a dream come true. How do I contact them to know more? Simply call 0809124449 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Export service designed just for you. Subscribe to 3T Export Support Services now.
Someone is asking a question. He said, is there any information of fish export? Yes. We have not, I'm not sure we have done fish. I will check, but there is information, definitely information on fish export. Thank you.
Wow, man, you are doing quite good.
You are not doing bad yourself.
How is your business doing these days, with the economic decline here and there? You don't look like you are being affected at all.
Well, it's affecting everyone. I just found a way of, expanding market for my services.
Really? Tell me more.
Let's talk in my office. So basically, I found a way of taking my services to other countries in the world. Hence, I don't have to depend so much on the current economic situation in our country.
Oh my god, this is awesome. But how did you go about it?
Well, thanks to 3T Impex and American Institute of Extended Studies, I was able to acquire skills and competence to take my skills to the world through Executive Diploma in Service Export Management.
That's just great. Is this program just for everyone? You know I am not into ICT service like you.
Well, the following services and many more can be exported. They are ICT, professional services, management consulting, marketing, training and education, engineering and architectural services, entertainment services, customer services and call center, graphics and photography, HR-related services. Don't get me started on the benefits. Earning in foreign exchange, increased sales volume and so much more.
I'm not waiting to hear more. I'm calling 08036522946 right away.
You can also send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
That's it. I'm signing up right away.
To sign up or know more about our services, simply call 0803652296 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Hey Paul. What a surprise to see you. In the port, of all places.
Life is full of surprises, I guess.
You and your sense of humor. I came to relax at the riverbank before I sighted you. So, what on earth brings you to the port?
Actually, I came to oversee the export of my products.
You must be joking, right?
No, I'm not.
When did you start producing? Not to talk of exporting?
I actually started some few months ago. I now produce and export processed food items. And basically I am here to oversee the shipment myself.
Wow. It's been barely 15 months since I last saw you. Won't you tell me how all this happened?
Of course I will. Let's go grab a sit.
So how did you become an exporter in such a short time?
Well, the last time we met I told you of my plans on exiting paid employment. So I was looking out for a business to go into. A few weeks later, I came across a training program organized by 3T Impex Trade Academy, one of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting companies.
Really?
Yes, the training is tagged From Export Novice to Export Legend.
Sounds great. Tell me more.
After 6 months, I completed the Diploma in Export Business Management. And in another 6 months, I successfully produced and packaged, even without having a manufacturing company.
Amazing.
I know, right? And all this is aside the free export advisory services, free export license, free books and audio materials, to mention just a few.
Wow, thank the heavens I came down to the port today. I am definitely considering this. How can one get started?
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or visit www.globaltradecollege.com. You can also send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Be a pal, own your own export business, and become an export legend today.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.